Oh boy, did we get an info drop. Atlas delivered and provided us a 3.5 minute PV trailer for the new Persona 5 Royale. We got a bunch of answers to questions that we had from the last tease. In today's video, I'm going to break down the footage from the trailer and highlight some of the things that may have blasted past you while you were jamming out to the new song playing in the background. It's Duane here from DewyHQ. Let's get started. Firstly, let's go over all the exciting new content that's been confirmed. The Japanese release date has been confirmed to be the 31st of the 10th, 2019, while the remaining worldwide date is yet to be set. However, Atlas USA have confirmed that it will be in 2020. Based on the turnaround time for the last mainline entry into the series, I'd assume that the worldwide release date would be this time next year, or possibly even in March of 2020. The game seems to be a Golden/FES remake, following the same story but adding more playable days, new characters, redesigning some major points in the game, and along with some major plot points. This will also include a third playable semester. This will most likely mean that the finale may take place at a different point in time, or the aftermath of the fallout will be different from the original game. Royal, or More Info-chan, has been confirmed to be a playable party member, and her name is Kazumi Yoshizawa. Kazumi is a transfer student that transfers into Shujin Academy around the same time as the protagonist and has a background in gymnastics. Based on the information provided, it seems that she likes the protagonist from the get-go, but dislikes the Phantom Thief's ideals. I'm assuming that she isn't aware that Joker is a Phantom Thief at this point in time. Her persona and tarot card arcana are currently unknown, but I'm going to speculate that she's something similar to Aeon. We have another new confidant, Takuto Maruki, who is of the Consultant Arcana, a completely new arcana to the Persona franchise. My speculation is that Takuto will play a role similar to the combination of both Tei Takumi and Sojiro Sakura. It seems that Takuto is employed by Shujin Academy after the events of the First Palace to help any students dealing with stress related to the crisis that unfolded. Kichijoji is a new area in Tokyo which is featured heavily throughout the trailer. It seems this will contain a variety of shops and new activities for the players to explore. Prominently, it seems that this new area will host a major hangout spot for Joker and the fellow thieves. The Penguin Sniper is a darts bar that seems to be inspired by the real-life company Darts Live in Japan, which Atlas currently has a collaboration with. Now, with all that information out of the way, let's get to analysing this bad boy. I'll be using Harry Type C's translation of the trailer to help assist with the breakdown, so be sure to pop on over and subscribe to him. I'll leave a link in the description below. During the breakdown, I'll be discussing major plot points from Persona 5, so if you haven't finished the story, I suggest finishing it first before watching the video to avoid any spoilers. We first start out with a familiar scene with Joker sitting in the interrogation room with Goro Akechi speaking. Akechi is talking to Joker and telling him that he doesn't need his pity, and that his hesitation is slowing him down. We are then shifted over to Shibuya Crossing, where Joker looks around while the crowd is frozen in place. There is a close resemblance between this cutscene and one of the game's opening cutscenes, where Joker is first shown a vision of Arsene. Although a major difference between the two scenes is that this new one is set on Christmas Eve, based on the display behind the pedestrians and also looking at the clothes that they are wearing. The TV display starts to crackle and we can hear Kazumi's voice through it. She says, "I have stolen other people's dreams." This may mean that the interrogation might take place at a different time and might allude to a new separate ending relating to Kazumi. Or perhaps this could be the start of Kazumi's doubts as a Phantom Thief, to which Joker is forewarned in order to change, similar to how Lavenza forewarned Joker to the ruin that he would face in the original game. The new opening song, which I'm assuming is going to be called Color to Live By, or perhaps Colorblind, by Lin, starts to play alongside what I'm speculating to be Persona 5 Royale's new opening cutscene. After a glimpse of a brand new cutscene of Joker walking, we can see that the newest area, Kichijoji, is added to the player's map fairly early in the game, since Joker can only currently travel to Yojinjaya, Shibuya, and Shujin Academy. Going off this information, I would assume that the new location would be added during the Kamoshida arc or just after it's completed. Right before bursting onto the new scene, we can see that the transitions for traveling between locations have been redrawn and redesigned. Following this, we get our first new look at Kichijoji. Here we can see that this new district hosts multiple shops and even a door to the Velvet Room. The various icons on the map seem to show an info icon, which could possibly be a job pamphlet where Joker can do part-time work for extra cash. This might allude to some of these new shops being new locations to work at. The next icon seems to be an eraser, for what I assume is a stationery store. The next icon seems to be a clothes store, which I hope Atlas updates so you can purchase the DLC outfits from the last game, rather than lock them purely behind DLC. Next seems to be an icon which is difficult to make out, but it seems to be a sushi or butcher shop. This is made apparent during the next cut. Above this is a pair of vending machines, and up from that towards the middle is what seems to be a dumpling shop. The trailer then cuts forward, showcasing what seems to be the sushi shop, or perhaps the butcher. Based on the photos on the menu, I'm leaning more towards seafood, but it seems to be more of a butcher's setup based on the lack of ice commonly found in seafood shops. We then bounce further in, showing standing bars located throughout Kichijoji. During these cuts, we can hear Morgana discussing with the team whether they can make use of the new area due to the amount of resources around the district for their escapades. Following this, we get a glimpse of Joker using the grappling hook to traverse outside of Kamoshida's castle. This seems to indicate that the section of climbing up the outside of the castle has been removed, replaced with the ease of this grapple launch. Shortly after, we are shown a new scene where the team is standing on Kamoshida's arm in order to open a door. This also seems to suggest that some, if not all of the palaces have had tweaks and redesigns. We then cut to a new scene of Kazumi standing by what seems to be a construction site with Joker walking towards her. I'm assuming that this is the first meeting between the two, and seems fairly reminiscent of the cutscene that plays when Joker first approaches Ann about her troubles with Kamoshida. Straight after this, we are introduced to Takuto, the new confidant, speaking with Ann, for which we can presume that she is speaking to him about Shiho and her incident with Kamoshida. Ann specifically talks about how someone has been watching her. In this instance, I would assume that she is referring to Yusuke before they officially meet him. We are then shown a new cutscene of someone walking quickly in first person while raining. This scene seems rather out of place, and I would assume it's either Yusuke or someone having a mental shutdown. Afterwards, we see another use of Joker's grappling hook to traverse Okumura's spaceport palace. During these scenes, we can hear Kazumi asking Joker, "Senpai, you still want to continue the Phantom Thieves?" This seems to suggest that Kazumi may still be opposed to the Phantom Thief operations after joining. Following this, we get a glimpse of what we can presume is Futaba's all-out attack or finisher move, which seems to drop her out into a bomb, then launch her towards the screen, where she would pose for the all-out attack. I'm predicting that this will trigger when Futaba's ability to change cognition in your favor is used, then the all-out attack is successful in defeating all the enemies. Before seeing Futaba's all-out attack pose, we are catapulted into the new combination attack between Haru and Morgana, where Haru is riding on top of the Monobus while firing her grenade launcher. This seems to indicate that the party members will have combo moves available to them, similar to Persona 4 Golden's combo attacks. Later in the trailer, we get to see another combo move between Ryuji and Makoto. Following this, we jump to a new scene of Makoto speaking to the other Shujin students on a megaphone. This scene seems to suggest that the students are performing a cleanup in the local park, or the school is on a field trip for a camp. We also note that Haru is present in this scene, however we cannot tell when this scene takes place, but I think it's safe to say that Haru will be given more screen time and possibly introduced into the main story earlier. Right after this scene, we can see Kazumi being cornered by an older man, wearing glasses. This seems to be located in Shibuya Square in front of the subway car. Based on Kazumi's body language, she doesn't want to be with this man. Joker then approaches the two and seems to break up the argument. It's noted that Joker is wearing his PE uniform in this scene, which may indicate that the previous scene with Haru and Makoto might take place on the same day. But since Kazumi isn't wearing her PE uniform, this might mean that only the second years are taking part in the cleanup or camp event, with a few third year chaperones. Straight after this, we cut to Kazumi awakening to her own persona, as what I can presume is Joker's voice speaking of the top, saying that humans can change their own cognition of themselves. Now, I'm not entirely sure why Joker would be speaking in full sentences, but I'm certain that this is his voice. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here.
人間にはね、自分に暗示をかけてその通りに自分を変えていく力があるんだ。
During this scene, we don't get to see what Kazumi's persona is, but I have a few ideas on what it could be, and I might discuss that later down the track. We then see a montage of cuts showing Joker hanging out with Ryuji and what seems to be Chinatown, and Yusuke at a new aquarium location. Ryuji narrates over the top, advising Joker not to tell Makoto or Ann about this based on his last exam results, where they'd rather see him study. With this statement, we can assume that these locations become available sometime after the exams before summer. Joker then approaches the new darts bar, Penguin Sniper, which seems to be located in the new area Kichijoji based on the map. Alongside this, we can note a few new locations. At the bottom, you can see the dumpling I spotted in the last map breakdown. This, what seems to be a soup can, possibly hinting at a food shop of some kind. A piano, which seems to indicate a music store, or possibly a place to increase your skills such as proficiency while playing music. Another icon, which seems to be a ceramic pot of some kind, which might be another location to buy odd goods or medicine. And there's a shop located to the left of Joker, which seems to sell stones. Advertised on the front are power stones. However, I believe this store will sell materials necessary for persona execution weapons or armor. Upon entering the Penguin Sniper, we get our first glimpse inside. It seems to be a pretty straightforward bar with darts, billiards, and refreshments. There's not much to note here, apart from the TV display above, which seems to be showing a very similar color scheme to Persona 4 Golden. Whether this is an Easter egg or a nod is yet to be determined. Following this, we cut to a scene of all the Phantom Thieves hanging out in the bar. Now this is very important, since usually in your free time you can only choose to hang out with one person at a time, aside from special party events or optional study sessions. This could mean that this event is a high celebration party, or perhaps you can invite all the team members to hang out at a certain location and build confidant points across the team. This may even apply to other confidants outside of the Phantom Thieves, but this is yet to be seen. This scene in particular seems to occur after or around the time of Okumura's dungeon, since Akechi nor Katsumi is to be seen, but Haru is part of the party. Flicking to the next scene, we can see Joker, Morgana, Ann, Ryuji, and Yusuke playing billiards. However, it is uncertain if this will be a full-on minigame along with the darts. However, the one thing we can take away from this scene is the fact that most, if not all of the characters will have new portraits when talking, as showcased by Ryuji's new expression. Moving forward, Ryuji and Makoto demonstrate their new combination attack, where Makoto unleashes her inner Star Platinum and Ryuji strikes with his weapon. This combination attack is further cemented with the image available on the Persona 5R website showing the pair together in a similar background. Afterwards, we catch our first live gameplay of Kazumi in the metaverse, showcasing her weapon to be a one-handed sword and a double-barreled pistol. Now, this gameplay takes place within mementos, making it difficult to determine when she becomes playable. However, by looking at another website image, it shows us that she'll become playable before or during Sai's Casino Palace. We can determine this by looking at the dice in the background of the battle. This is the only palace in the game currently to feature dice at all. This might even suggest that Kazumi joins at the same time Akechi joins in the original game, or perhaps she even replaces him in this instance. It is also quite possible that another dungeon occurs before Sai's palace, where Kazumi joins the thieves. We are then given a new montage of cutscenes that play throughout the game. One cutscene is where the team are inside the monobus and are looking defeated or down while looking out the window. However, after the trailer dropped, a user on Twitter pointed out something that was very important. Unfortunately, I can't find the exact tweet anymore, and I'm not sure exactly who tweeted it. Noted that there are a pair of legs behind Haru, which only seem to match one person. If we draw comparisons, you can see that these legs do not belong to Yusuke or Makoto. Rather, they belong to Akechi after he changed his outfit into the darker version. This seems to indicate that Akechi may not die after the battle in Shido's palace, and might continue working with the Phantom Thieves afterwards. I have a hunch that all of these cutscenes play during the fallout with Igor in the Velvet Room, as society collapses around the Phantom Thieves. I do believe this entire scenario will be readjusted to blend better, since in the original game, this arc in particular became very muddied and confusing. Following this scene, we can see Kazumi dancing in what seems to be Shujin Academy Hall, with the other students watching her on. I believe this scene may take place during the School Culture Festival, since this scene in particular was kind of glossed over in the original game. Lastly, we cut to Joker hanging on a rope, flying across the city of Tokyo. However, since he is wearing his metaverse costume, it is assumed that he is in the metaverse, and this is solidified by the floating panes of glass or something similar at the bottom of the screen. This scene may take place during an entirely new palace, or perhaps during the fallout of Igor. Towards the end of the trailer, we get our reconfirmed date of the 31st of the 10th, 2019. And to wrap up this analysis, I'll be covering the remaining images from the P5R site. One major thing that wasn't highlighted in the trailer is that the players now have the ability to use Confidant abilities out in Shibuya. What exactly these abilities do is yet to be seen. However, this could allude to some Confidant abilities getting reworked. Oh yeah. Another interesting image is that the Velvet Room seems to be completely red rather than the usual blue. It has been speculated that perhaps the weather will affect the room, and this could cause more Persona fusion accidents, or perhaps have a higher chance of getting random abilities on personas when fusing. Following this, the next image shows Joker, Akechi, and Kazumi sitting at a cafe. This cutscene looks to be story related, considering it takes place during summer, based on the clothes they are wearing. And since I believe that Kazumi won't be an optional social link, rather she'll be story related, similar to Akechi or Morgana. Moving on, we can see a variety of images featuring Joker and Kazumi. The only date that is shown is 5/20. This could be when the school cleanup event happens, since both of them are in Jin clothes away from Shujin. Or possibly, this is a Confidant event. Atlus seem to be expanding the amount of bonding between the characters as seen with the group chat selfie from Ryuji, which takes place after the first heist celebration party, after the Kamoshida fallout. I'm assuming we'll see extra group images throughout the game to modernize the bond between the party. From there, we can see a new image showcasing what I assume is a new treasure demon encounter. However, this seems to take place within Kamoshida's castle, based on the environment around them, which may suggest that treasure demons are guaranteed to show up in certain locations. This may also suggest the addition of new treasure demons, since they only appeared from Madarame's palace and onwards. Another image shows the team attending a New Year's festival, seeming to solidify that the events towards the end of the game will be dramatically changed from the original. This next image seems to confirm my hopes that I stated in my last video, with the twins and Joker appearing in the real world. This could mean that the Strength Confidant could be reworked from a fusing fest to a traditional Confidant, or perhaps it could be related to requests from the twins like I previously speculated. Either way, I'm looking forward to the interactions between the twins and Joker, and hopefully Lavenza afterwards. Another small note is that during the Kamoshida boss fight, a cognitive form of Mishima seems to fight alongside him, which may prove to complicate the boss fight a little more from the last time. And finally, I've decided to leave the most interesting screenshots for the end. The first being an image of LeBlanc featuring Sojiro, Futaba, and what seems to be Futaba's mother, Wakaba. Another image alongside this is what seems to be Joker, who is talking to what is perceived to be a human Morgana. Those who have finished the original game would be scratching their heads at exactly what is happening here, since there are two major points that would prove these impossible. Number one is that Wakaba, Futaba's mother, passed away around 2 years ago before the events of Persona 5. And two, Morgana was always a cat, and he didn't have a human form to begin with. A popular theory that I've seen is that this is a glimpse into a perfect world that the fake Igor shows you in order to persuade Joker to accept his deal, since it allows for the people in his life to get what they desire. Futaba and Sojiro wanting Wakaba back in their lives, and Morgana wanting to be a human so he can be seen as an equal among the thieves. Aside from Futaba's mother returning from the dead, since Morgana is a Velvet Room resident and was made through cognition, it is possible for the thieves to change their views on Morgana and change him into a human if they perceived him that way. Or he could just grow a body like Teddy did in Persona 4. Who knows at this point. And that about wraps it up for the complete info drop for Persona 5R. In summary, I'm pretty hyped for the new game, and I'm super keen to find out what Kazumi is about and where she'll fit into the story. We've been told that we'll be receiving another bunch of information on the 9th of May, but I wouldn't expect a full-blown trailer like we got with the Persona concert. But I would expect to see perhaps a short video showcasing a new character, or perhaps we'll find out who Kazumi's persona is, or even her arcana. Regardless, I hope that Atlus continues the hype train by giving us more information at regular intervals, since with Persona 5's release, it was pretty sporadic on the information we received. I hope you all enjoyed my breakdown of the first major trailer, and feel free to leave a comment below highlighting anything that I might have missed, or even your thoughts on the game in general. I can't wait to hear from you guys. It was Duane here from DewyHQ, signing out. See you guys.